Hey everyone, welcome back to LightHearted. I'm Britton.
And I'm Rachel. Today's episode might be a little bit more on the heavy-hearted side, just to give you guys a heads up.
Yeah, we are talking about the impact of childhood trauma, what it is, how it shows up in our adult lives, and most importantly, how we begin healing. All right, guys, if you grew up with emotional neglect, inconsistency, abuse, or even just unmet needs, this episode is for you. And we want to be really clear, trauma doesn't have to be some massive event. Sometimes it's what didn't happen that shaped us the most.
And we're not here to blame anyone. We're here to understand, because healing starts when you give yourself permission to say, that did affect me and I can do something about it. So let's get into what science says. Trauma isn't just what happened, it's what happened inside of us as a result.
Yeah, that's right. So the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, or ACEs study, found that the more adverse experiences someone had as a child, the higher their risk for anxiety, depression, addiction, and even chronic illnesses in adulthood. It literally rewires the brain. Trauma can impact the amygdala, which controls fear and survival responses, as we know, the hippocampus, which affects memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which helps with decision making. So it's impacting all of those things.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And on top of all of that, the nervous system learns to stay in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, which means even as an adult, we could be walking around in a body that still thinks we're in danger. I think it would be good for us to spend a minute talking about some of the ways this may show up in our adult lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the first one that comes to mind is you can over-apologize even when you didn't do anything wrong.
I've never
done that? Wow.
Never. Yeah, I feel like that one comes up a lot for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Another one is that you struggle with boundaries or you feel guilty saying no because you didn't really get the opportunity to learn how to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
Another really difficult one is you have a deep fear of abandonment and rejection.
Yeah. One that is not calling me out in any way is that you either shut down emotionally or you feel everything all the time. And I feel like for me, I like really flip-flop between the two. Like where it's like I'm either completely shut down or I'm just like
feeling all of it.
Super in my feels.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one or the other.
That sounds miserable.
It's not great. It's not my favorite thing. We're working on it. That's why we're here. Because we get to talk about things.
You can grow.
I can grow as a human.
I think another one is that you can become super hyper independent. I'll just do it myself and you're running on autopilot all the time.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think you can also chase perfectionism or sabotage good things because it feels safer to expect disappointment. We want you to hear this. None of this means that you're broken at all. It means that your inner child learned survival skills.
Yeah.
And those skills don't always translate well into adult life.
But we can learn new ones. We can rewire how we respond. That's what healing is. It's choosing new patterns, one decision at a time.
All right, let's kind of take a little pause here so that I can ask one of my favorite coaching questions. And you don't have to answer this. This is just for your brain, okay? For you guys, we'll have little journal prompts that you can print out down below if you want, just for fun. What did you learn about love growing up? Go ahead and pause it if you need to. Just think about it. All right. Did you learn that love had to be earned? That love meant pleasing everyone? That love came with conditions or unpredictability? Or maybe you learned you had to shrink yourself to be safe? Or that expressing needs made you a burden? The old definition of love might still be running the show today, but you can write a new one that actually includes you and includes your feelings and includes your needs.
So now we have some questions for you guys to think about. What did you learn about how love and safety worked together when you were younger? And where might those old beliefs still be influencing your relationships today?
I like that question a lot. I think like I can definitely tell. I think I've gotten a lot better at it, but I feel like my reactions to things and how I like feel loved was like heavily influenced by my surroundings.
Right. Yeah.
When I was growing up, you know? And so I think that's so interesting. So once we become aware of these things, which hopefully now you're aware that, you know, your childhood does shape you in your adulthood. Sometimes your inner child is sad and they hop into the driver's seat and you're just running with them, you know, and that's a lot to handle. So become aware of it. And then let's talk about some actual ways to start healing.
Yeah. I think number one for me is to name it. Start noticing your patterns and what triggers your inner child. When do you shut down, lash out, or freeze?
And you might do all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just take notice, pay attention.
Number 2 here is to validate your experience. But I do want to talk about this one for a minute. So you don't need proof or permission to say something hurt, okay? Because like if you feel it, if you're feeling hurt, then like that is hurting you, okay? If it shaped you, it matters. But I really do want to talk about here, I think this is so important, so please listen. There is a major difference between an explanation and an excuse. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you're like, well, of course I treat everyone like crap. I was treated like crap. Like that is not okay. That's something that like you need to work through because that's not an okay thought process to just carry forever. Okay? You can use it as an explanation. Like, man, I don't know if I was shown love very well. So now as a result, I'm having to learn how to show love. Or my mom lashed out at me as a child. And so now I'm catching myself lashing out at my child, right? So it's an explanation. It's not an excuse to treat other people poorly.
That's really good.
I think we get a little caught up in that of like, oh, well, like
just using
this happened to me.
All the things that happen to us as excuses to treat other humans like crap.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I just can't get on board with.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because when you know better, you do better.
Yes. 100%. So if you haven't heard before, like now you know better and now you can start doing better. Yeah. I think along with validating your experience and then like excuses versus explanations, a really good place to start is with reparenting, which I'm just going to take a brief minute to explain that. So let's say you just had really crappy parents, okay? Which like I'm very lucky and I have like I have a good parent who loves me, you know? But if you had really crappy parents, you probably didn't learn a lot of things that you needed to learn, or maybe they spoke to you in a really bad way, or maybe they just treated you like trash. Like it just wasn't good. Maybe they were okay parents and they just weren't the parents that you needed, you know, and like that's okay too. So reparenting is basically you becoming your own parent. Okay, I'm going to put that like heavily in air quotes. You become your own parent. And so when you're going through your tough moments, you are going to talk to yourself in the way that an ideal parent would talk to you. Now, if it's an ideal parent, that's not a parent that just validates every single thing that you've ever experienced ever. They're not like, oh, of course you're beating up your brother. That totally makes sense. He's a jerk. Like, that's not what your parent would do. That's not what an ideal good parent would do. They'd be like, hey, I love you. You're having big feelings. Come over here and talk to me about it instead of lashing out at your brother, right? Like, talk to yourself like an ideal parent. So what that would sound like is like, of course you're struggling with your kid right now. Like, this is new for you. How are you feeling? Like, let's do like a little mental check-in and let's see kind of where you're feeling triggered so that you can become better in this moment. So take a minute, talk to yourself like an ideal parent. And it's like the most life-changing thing ever. That's the one thing that like got me kind of on my healing journey was like, I can talk to myself however I want to. That's so cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do that. So start giving yourself the things you didn't get: comfort, consistency, boundaries, celebration, all of these things that the perfect parent for you would give you.
I've always been someone that talks to myself anyway. So it's like, why not just do that?
Natural next step.
Yeah.
And like, it's not to be like, wow, your parents are the worst. Like, they're not.
No, but like every human makes mistakes and every human is different. So regardless of how great or terrible, let's be honest, your parents were, like, every human needs different things. No one knows yourself like you do.
Yeah.
So you know the answers that you would want in that moment, or maybe not even what you would want, but what you need in that moment.
Yeah, and like they can't give it to, like, especially if you have more than one kid too. And even if you just have one kid, like you're not going to do it perfectly every single time.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But it's also okay to say, I'm lacking some of these like foundational things that I like needed to hear, needed to, yeah, like someone needed to say this to me. And like my parents just didn't think to say it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah. Just so everyone knows, I'm not the perfect parent. My plan one day is like, I'm doing my best and I'm just going to give my son money for therapy. And just be like, go fix anything I messed up. Like, let me know. Let me know what I need to apologize for. Go get therapy.
That's the best parenting advice. It's like, okay, make a college fund and a therapy fund for...
Yeah, I'm like, I know we're not doing everything perfectly.
No, and no one is going to. No one is going to.
We're trying our best.
Yeah.
And I do think, like, in general, most parents are trying their best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most people are trying their best.
I agree.
Most spouses are trying their best.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Let's be real.
Yeah. But I definitely think most people are just working with what they've got and they don't realize there are additional tools that they could take.
No, and I think the biggest thing that's eye-opening for me, and not even just like in my situation or my life or my family, it's just like your parents were once kids being raised by parents. And so...
And their parents had no idea what was going on either.
And then it's just like, it's just this line of like, okay, like people are trying to better themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get better than their parents and they're learning from their parents' mistakes. And sometimes they take what they learned and how their parents treated them and then treat their kids the same way. And that's not great, but it happens. And so if you can think about that too, I think that that's really helpful. It's like, hey, my parents were once children being raised too.
Yeah. I think we talked in the last episode where it was like, okay, people put pictures of little them on a mirror and it's like, hey, when you're talking crap, like this is who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like we can envision kind of our parents like that too, or like we can see our kids or we can see us as kids and just be like, man, that's who I'm talking to right now. Let's ease up a little bit. Let's figure out what's going on, like, and what this person needs right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I just love it.
Okay. So coming from reparenting, I think another great step to take is to create safety routines.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Trauma often lives in the body. So try breath work, grounding exercises to calm your nervous system.
Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. So like literally 2 seconds ago, we've been filming all week. We've been really busy this week. And so we got to that part where it's like 2 breath work and grounding exercises. So we called up our favorite therapist, Laura.
Laura?
I think it was that. We can call her.
Like, we're like, help. What is it? What do we do?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. I'm here with my buddy, Rachel. We're filming and we were like, okay, we need to do like the big deep Laura breath. So we just did that. And then were you talking about like tugging on your ears or something too?
Yeah.
Where?
Like right here, you pull down.
Okay.
And just like hold it.
Okay.
Is this
Your
certain ear?
vagus nerve comes through here. Yeah. Like, can you see my ear?
Yeah.
Right there. Put your finger right there and pull down.
Okay. We were like, we're just going to call her and clear this up right now because we just need it.
I love that. So do like the like long in and then short breath.
That's yes. Yeah. We were like, do the Laura breath. Let's do it.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You're the best ever.
Are you anxious or are you just like...
We're talking about the impact of childhood trauma in adult life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
You're fine. It's fine.
Like, it's fine. We're just, yeah.
Do belly breath.
Yeah, we were like, okay. Yeah. So thanks for answering. We're fine.
Really nice.
So thanks, Laura, for taking our call. Back to the topic at hand. I think my final tool to start the healing process is to just find safe relationships. And I know that's easier said than done for some people. Like, I totally know that. But healing really can happen in safe connection.
Yep.
So whether that's a therapist, a coach, or just someone who sees you without judgment. So just find somebody you can talk to. You can go to group things. You can go to like whatever works for you. You just need to feel seen, so that you can start healing.
Yeah. So find your community.
Yeah.
I know that is something we just talk about all the time, but it's so important.
It's so important. We have some more questions for you guys just to think about. Maybe we'll answer a few of these. When was the last time you felt triggered? And how did you respond?
I feel like I have the hardest time when I'm triggered now because I'm not a kid anymore. Like, you're fine. And it's so crazy that the brain does that. Like, I'm always just astounded by like, oh, I'm sitting and playing a game and I'm freaking out. Why am I freaking out? I have no idea. And then you finally figure it out and you're like, oh, that's not even happening. Like, why am I losing my mind right now?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's insane. And it's crazy that like, okay, this is going to sound insane. I think, sorry, we're going on super tangent here and then we have more questions, I swear. Like, it's so cool that like everything your brain does is to protect you.
Yeah.
But it's also so insane that it's like, but that was like 19 years ago. Like,
right.
Why are you still freaked out about that? But it's like, do you remember when this happened last time? Like, you need to get it together because this is happening again right now. And so it's almost like you almost have to like thank your brain for taking good care of you and then like dismiss it. Where it's like, oh yeah, I do see that pattern. Thank you so much. I'm actually fine now.
Right.
Like, it's the weirdest thing ever though, that your brain's just like, we're holding it. We've like, it's still there.
Yeah.
We can do this.
And I know for me, a lot of the time, like it will get anxious or something will be triggering me, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing. I'm like, why am I freaking out right now?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? And then it takes a minute. Sometimes you don't even realize it. Like but like luckily sometimes you do.
Yeah.
But it's like, whoa.
Like, why was that bugging me?
Why was that bugging me? That's so weird.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree. Oh, it's so crazy.
our next one is, what is a belief I've carried from childhood that might not be serving me anymore? Can you think of anything?
Yeah. Yeah. I think one that's kind of a lowball one was that like it's okay to cry and it's okay to not be like the toughest one in the room, and it's okay to like not be an like emotionless robot. Like that's an okay thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think I repressed a lot. And so then like even like when I first got married, I would still only cry in the shower. I didn't want Jordan to like see me and think I was weak. That really went with me. And so yeah. And then I think like the first time I was having like, you know, like the huffy cries where you're like you just like can't keep it in. So I think I like cried like that for the first time in front of him. And he was just like so loving and so sweet about it. I was like, oh, I can cry. And like, that's okay. Like, it's an okay thing to just like not be strong all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that was my big, like, okay, I can just be a human and it's okay. And like, I'm still loved regardless of whether or not I'm too cool to cry.
One of my least favorite things ever is when I see a parent telling their kid to stop crying.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's like a time and a place for the most part. Like if you're, you know, and depending on what's going on and, you know, like I get that there's different circumstances, but when it's always just like, dry it up, don't cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that makes me so mad. Like you're creating so many problems. Like you don't realize it, but
like if you validate, it's over so much faster.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that must have really hurt. I'm sorry.
They'll stop crying.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, it did. Thanks. Like that's the hardest thing they're going to go through that whole day.
Right.
Probably. Hopefully. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I think not that I'm the perfect parent, never claimed to be, never will claim to be. But I think one thing that's worked for us, because like I do think at some point it's good to start putting it into perspective, like where pain is for kids.
Right.
You know? And so like for my son, the incident that happened with you, we listed that as his 10. So we were like, hey, buddy, so scale of 1 to 10, a 1 would be like you hit your finger on something and it kind of hurts for a minute. And then like a 10 is this other thing that happened. Like, where is this falling like on the pain scale for you?
Yeah.
Because like a 10 is like we drop everything and we take care of it and like we cry and like we do all the things. So like, where is this falling for you? Oh, okay, it's a 7. That's pretty serious. Okay, like let's take care of it.
That's so good.
It's been really helpful because he can be like, oh, this is actually like a 2. I don't need to cry about that.
Well, it's also teaching kids to like identify their pain and like,
yeah,
like as I know as an adult, like you go to the doctor and something and they're like, On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like, I have
You're
no
like, babe,
idea.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea how to scale pain. Like, don't ask me.
because it's so different for everyone too.
And I'm like, I don't know. 2, 12, I don't know.
I love that. Yeah, it's like we're not trying to like minimize his pain or
No.
anything, but we're like, hey bud, like this is like maximum, like we do drop everything. There's blood everywhere. Like we take care of you. I'm just gonna retell the story really quick so you guys aren't just like, what are they even talking about?
Have we ever talked about this?
I don't think so. But I'm gonna retell it how my son retells it. So Rachel used to nanny for me, and she is who you want on your side in a crisis. And I just want to make that really clear because she was fabulous. She did everything right. So how my son retells it is that he was running in his Crocs, and then he ate the door. That's what he says. So he tripped on the floor and his face just smashed into our door going outside. And the door kind of has like a little lip on it, and his like gums just like smacked that little lip and just blood everywhere. I was out of the house and Rachel was here with him, and she was so calm. She called me and she was like, hi, I need you to come home right now because there's an emergency and we need to figure it out. And so I like rush home as fast as I can. And she's like, okay, I've done this thing already. This is happening. She has him all taken care of. And then like you helped me move like the car seat so that he could get it. Like you helped me with everything. And then luckily his dad's a dentist. And so I call his dad and I'm like, hi, should I take him to like the emergency room? Cause faces bleed a lot. So it's really hard to tell. Yeah. Or do I just bring him to you so you can look at his lips and his teeth and stuff that dentists can do? And so we ended up taking him to the office, and like, you were like, I will stay and clean up all the blood and take care of everything. And I got home and everything was cleaned up and he was all taken care of. Like we got his lip fixed up. Everything was fine. But holy crap, that was the most stressful thing ever. And he was just scream crying. Also, as of note, he was eating chicken nuggets and it looked so much worse. It looked like his teeth were like crumbling out of his mouth. Yeah. I would have been freaking out if I were you.
It was fine.
You're like, everything
was fine. I would have been scream crying too because it looked like it hurt really bad. So
it looked awful. It looked so bad. Yeah. So that's his 10 though, is that he's allowed to scream cry when he's at a 10 like that. He can scream cry as much as he wants.
I was just happy when I realized that he lost no teeth and broke no teeth because I was like, oh no.
But yeah, if you ever have a crisis, just call Rachel. She handles everything really well. Thank you. Okay, our next question, getting back on track yet again, is what does safety feel like to me now? So what makes you feel safe now? Yeah. And if you don't feel safe now, I would love for everyone to like truly think about that and like what would make you feel safe right now? Mm-hmm. Like what actions would you need to take to feel safe?
Our last question for you guys before we close this episode is, what's one small way I can start reparenting my younger self this week?
Love it. Yeah. I think with that question, and I feel like this is our answer for every single thing forever, is like just start really small. Mm-hmm. Like if you spill something, don't say that you're stupid and that you always do that. Just be like, oh, it's okay. Like we make mistakes. We need to clean it up. Like just start reparenting in really small ways. And I think you'll very quickly see the impact that it has on you and in like how you speak to the people around you. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you've ever thought, why am I like this? This is why. Not because you're broken, because your inner child needed safety. Healing is not linear. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about finding yourself and loving that version with so much gentleness.
You are not too late and you're not too much.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're enjoying LightHearted, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us reach more people who need a little more light in their lives.
And make sure you join us over on Instagram at LightHeartedPod to see clips of our episodes and some fun behind the scenes content. We would also love to have you join us over on TikTok at LightHeartedPod. We also have merch, so make sure you go check it out. Everything that we talked about will be listed below.
And don't forget, it's okay to not feel lighthearted. This podcast was recorded on Buzzsprout in West Virginia.